into the discovery of human skeletal remains off of County Road 6 in Lauderdale County. Earlier today, the Sheriff's Office informed family members that the Department of Forensic Science has positively identified those remains as Bradley Eugene Lard. Identification was made by using dental records and other cranial scans. Mr. Lard went missing from the Cloverdale community on February the 28th of 2019. The Sheriff's Office has continued to investigate Mr. Lard's disappearance since that day. While we are grateful that today's information brought some needed closure to the Lard family, this case remains open as we await final reports from DFS and as we look into new evidence that came with the discovery of the remains. So, having made that statement, we're open to any questions.
What do you mean by new evidence that came with that discovery?
Yeah, so an open investigation, and we won't be discussing the new evidence.
Can you tell us if this indicates foul play?
Again, we're waiting for more reports from Department of Forensic Sciences on that.
Do you think, how many pieces did you find out there of remains?
There were several skeletal remains, including a skull and other parts of the body. Sergeant Burbank, would you like to comment on that?
During the 2-day search, we did locate numerous skeletal remains. A lot of the pelvic area up was recovered, but I would say probably 60% of the body to 70% of the body bones were recovered.
Is there anything that you can give us that we can get out that might help? I mean, as far as information with the investigation?
Well, what we do ask is the Governor Ivey has done a $5,000 reward for any information leading to the persons responsible and a conviction. That reward is still out there. That reward was done prior to, obviously, the remains being found, but that reward is still active.
Okay.
So we ask anybody who has any tips on what may have happened to Mr. Lard to, of course, contact us at the Sheriff's Office. Our direct number is 256-760-5772. But right now we're just glad that we can bring some closure to the family, and that's always been our number one goal, is to bring Mr. Lard home. That has been done, and we couldn't have done it without obviously the hunter who have found the initial remains. Our thanks goes out to that person, with the District Attorney's Office, the Alabama Department of Forensic Sciences. All those really, we all come together to help maybe bring the family some closure.
You said he's been missing since 2019. What was the last kind of tip that you guys got about him, his whereabouts?
The last information that we received was he was at an acquaintance's house, and the allegation was that he just walked off.
Is there any other information you could give us about what happened when he did in fact go missing?
We are investigating that at that time. We are taking some new evidence that we have recovered versus evidence that was recovered back then, comparing that, and we're going from there.
Are remains all that you found out there? Were there clothes?
We did find some clothing items. The clothing description did match what Mr. Lard was wearing when he was last seen. Of course, we believed at the time that there was a possibility it could be Mr. Lard, and it did, of course, confirm that it was.
Did it appear that he was living out there?
No.
Okay, and
So, I mean, but initially on, did you believe there was foul play involved? Without divulging anything, can you at least go into that?
last year you said that there might be foul play.
Yeah,
involved.
that's where I was going.
Why did you believe that?
The statements given, obviously, at the time, and the evidence recovered at the time, well, obviously, we're still investigating all avenues of manner of death. That's yet to be determined. If there was foul play involved, then we obviously want to pursue justice for the victim.
And you did say it didn't appear like he was living out there, but have you guys gotten back a timeline on how long he?
No, that's still to be determined at this time.
When you talk about any kind of information to the public, that includes, they might just think about, well, since this happened, what have I heard? But this could be any comments he may have made in passing, even weeks and months ahead of time about any kind, anything that might, kind of ring a bell for them to make them think, wait, that was kind of unusual for him to say.
We do know that Mr. Lard was last seen in the Cloverdale community. The last confirmed sighting we had was at a gas station there in Cloverdale. But given statements made by other persons, we're not going, and obviously the ongoing investigation, we're not going to go into a lot of detail on that.
And that reward, like you said, is still out there for
The reward is still active, yes, ma'am.
I'm good.
So just to close, we appreciate the media's interest in this. I know they've done some stories throughout the year on behalf of the Lard family, and we are again grateful and hopeful that this information today does give them somewhat closure. And again, this case is very open and continue to be investigated at this time. So we appreciate it again. You can go ahead.
Please.